Okay, good stack of orders and a hot potato watch for Wheeler. It's Monday morning today on The Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Welcome, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. Monday morning dealer here on The Crazy Picker Life. Got to keep moving this morning. Trying to get a jump on the week. Last week, the week got a jump on me. We started school with the kids, homeschooling. We had all kinds of activities. And the whole week felt like I was trailing it. If you've ever had a week like that. Woo! Shook it off all weekend, relaxed with a nice 10-mile run on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. out of town. Feeling like I got run over by a truck this morning. Other than that, made it through the race. The boys made it through the race. Everybody did their 10 miles. Had a relaxing rest of the day. When you start racing at 7 a.m., the rest of the day seems pretty long. Up early, coffeed, ready for action. Get my day started. I'll be back with you. BP, how was your race?
Sore.
Yeah.
Slow.
Now you ran a 10-mile race when you were a younger guy.
Yep.
How old were you when you ran your first one?
8th birthday.
And you liked it so much you didn't run another one till this year.
Yep.
Well, there you go. So we've got a lot of orders. And a hot potato watch, which I'll find if you want.
Yep.
So there's some combined shipping ones there we'll have to talk about, and some good dollar ones we'll have to pack together. Other than that, I got to keep moving. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Are you awake yet?
Yeah.
What happens when you run out of table?
Yeah.
Oh, you had to go on to the second table. So we ran third table. Well, I guess I call that one. There's this big crack right here. So we ran our first camera item sale in about 3 weeks over the weekend, and it's interesting what happens with that. Here's one thing that happens. If you can see all these invoices, I did pack some orders as I knew this might happen. Not a whole bunch, but I got 3 there and a big one there. I packed a few orders on Saturday, and so most of these are from probably a 36-hour period. I think there's 20 some here, and they are trickling in right now. Now this sale ends at noon today Pacific, so looking at my central watch, that gives us about 8 hours. No, let's see, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 6 hours until the sale ends. I bet we'll get some more orders in. I also have 8 or 10 orders from Watch Channel, General Merchandise, my camera stuff channel, my low-end camera stuff channel, and I think there's even an Amazon order in there. So we got to get to work.
Yep.
Yep. If I trade him, he could probably be on Storage Wars Season 29. Alright, so I have limited space these days, and we are shipping quite a few items the last week or so, and I noticed Friday or Saturday that I was getting low on bubble wrap. We don't have any warehouse store out here that sells box supplies. I do like to use mostly new boxes when I send out my orders. That's the image that we have for our camera items, that we're, a real business. Some people like to recycle boxes. I do recycle bigger boxes sometimes on large items. So I need to order some bubble wrap. We have Walmart here that they sell. Hey Whistler, what's going on? You here to help me with my Uline order?
Yes.
They sell bubble wrap in small quantities, but that's not how I want to do it. So I usually order about 5 of these rolls at a time, and currently my orders are smaller from Uline. I used to get them by truck, and they would show up with a truck. Hang on a second. Hey, shh. On camera. She's waiting to do some homework, and she's got the Monday morning giggles or whatever. So we used to get, yeah, that's the deal here. We used to get orders by pallet. It'd be pallet or 2 pallets would come on a FedEx freight truck, and we would take those off and divide them up and throw them in the office. I don't have room for that here anymore, although we did just have a truck come and deliver some of the paper that we use and some boxes and some things like that. I also need some of these convoluted sheets, although I think I have some more in the back room, maybe or maybe not. I use these are not cheap. I haven't priced them out recently, but it's a couple bucks a sheet. If you cut this in half or in 4 pieces, or leave it like this for a 12 by 12 by 12 box, that bottom will save things that are fragile. A lot of our cameras, once you get up into $100 or more, I like to make sure if that thing is dropped, the bottom of the box has one of those foam pads in there. Since I've started using those, obviously there's a cost, and I don't have any tracking on those, but my broken items and things like that, to me, have seemed like they've gone down, especially the high-priced ones where I use that. And so it's an intangible. I don't have time or energy to track everything. A lot of the things we do are on the fly, and then when you get your results at the end of the year, you look at some things, returns, you look at your cost of inventory versus your gross sales, and you look at some of your other expenses at the end of the year. The returns seem to be better. So I'm going to put together this order, and then it's time for some schooling. Got to put on my teacher's hat. Well, I thought I had some back here, but I've got a few corners, like the corner back there, where I can put a box of those. It looks like I'm out. Now I do have some that are just laying around in totes. When we go buy stuff, sometimes I line the bottom of a tote or even the top of a tote with those two temporarily. Most of those I get back. Got my stack of eBay boxes that we're using. This still looks pretty good, but what I need to do is I need to filter some of this stuff into these totes that are now becoming more empty, and keep this pile from infringing on the rest of the area. And we just keep working on stuff. I got a spot up there for something. Okay, didn't have the foam sheets. Oh, let's take a look here. Now, the first thing that Banana Peeler does is he finds all the items and makes sure that we have them for the orders, and then we just keep going on the process. Okay, getting ready to go out on a morning run here, recovery run from the weekend. Mine and Wheeler's, I think, is going to look more like a walk. Stretch out the walk. And the boys, 12 and 14 years old, they bounce back so quick, they'll probably do 3 miles. Oh, to be young and bounce backable. Okay, so Banana Peeler took care of a couple totes of orders. What's left here are some of the higher priced items or things that he and I need to work together. This one is from Saturday. It's a couple $99 lenses. This one is going to Japan and needs the shipping fixed for combined shipping, but it's a nice $280 order plus shipping. Going to a camera store in Japan, or some sort of camera person. Another combined shipping one going overseas. a Topcon lens for 140 bucks plus shipping going overseas, and it looks like a digital Canon camera that needs some work, again going overseas. So a lot of these are overseas. In fact, all but that first one are overseas ones. Good money there. And this is from 48 or 36 hours of selling. This, to me, the price of some of these orders and the size of some of these orders, that shows me that we're heading in the right direction as far as listing more expensive items. It's good to have a mix of items, but if you sell every day, it's nice having some items that are at the $100 or more every single day, right? Duh. Okay. Preaching to the choir. So a couple belt buckles. Here's one that was 22 bucks. A Packard automobile. Here's a Roadrunner. Sold for 13 plus shipping. Here's a pretty nice watch. This is a Bulova Accutron from the 60s. That's in real nice shape, cleaned up real nice. That sold for $242, so that's good. A couple of photo easels, $10 each, or give or take. Maybe let's see, yeah, $13 each, and some tripod feet. So the watch, that is from a small lot of watches, 6 or 7 watches that we bought locally for about $500. And with that sale there and some of the other ones we sold in the last few months, we've made our money back. I believe we have 2 or 3 watches left from that lot for profit. One is gold or gold filled and is listed at $700. So that will be a good sale when it eventually sells. And then 1 or 2 more that are probably in the $100 each range. So sometimes it takes time to get your money back. And then when you sell stuff, you've got, after you get your money back, if you still have stuff to sell, which is a good idea, then you're starting to get into your profit. Now obviously there's a holding cost, the time it takes to sell, and there are other costs involved besides what you pay for it. But that'll be a nice lot, nice profit, probably pretty close to tripling our money before the other expenses come out, which is, for us, that's a good ratio. If you buy something for $100 and sell it for $300, $200 gross profit. By the time you take your other expenses out of there, you're making good money, and that's one of the quick ways that I calculate if I should buy something or buy a lot, or if somebody says, what will you give me for it? That's one of the quick profit calculators that Wheeler and I use when we're pricing things. We need to be able to make at least triple our money gross, unless it's something that's just super fast moving, or we really want it, or we want to mess around with it, or learn about it, or whatever. So when we go into a deal, we're not just shooting numbers, out of our butts. We've got some basis for it, and that takes a couple different pieces to make work properly. One is you need to know pretty much what items are worth. You need to know what you can sell them for. You need to know your seller and how they feel about the items. Are they in love with them and aren't going to give them away? Do they want to get rid of them? So all those things go into your calculation. And then if you've been doing this for a number of years like I have, I don't track or look at individual items, profit or loss, with all the expenses taken out. I look at it on a global scale, year to year. I look at my tax return. I look at my end of the year accounting and spreadsheets. How am I doing? Did I make money or not? And then you can start looking at individual expenses. Once in a while, I'll pull out an individual item and really scrutinize it, because I like to know, exactly how much money I'm making on something. But I used to do more of that, and maybe that's where a few of my questions come from out there. How much money are you actually making per time? I don't look at that anymore, because I spend my time buying the right stuff and listing it. That's pick well, list often. I don't need to micro manage my expenses anymore, because I know what they are. I know what they are through the last 10 years that I've been doing this on and off, and my experience in retail and other things, running your own businesses or family businesses for many years. So too much micromanagement won't make you have profit. Finding good stuff and listing it and selling it, you're going to get the profit there. Now, some people out there are fearful. They're fearful to get in the game. They don't want to spend any money unless they know for certain that they're going to make money. Well, for certain will get you a gold watch someday, maybe. But there's no for certain in the buying and selling game. Over time and over averages, if you keep at it and do the right things, you're going to be just fine. And some people like to work for more money per hour, and some people like to work for less. If you get better at this, you make more per hour and probably enjoy it more. If you don't get better at it, or buy the wrong stuff, you might be making much, much less, or even losing money. Okay, there it is. The daily Monday rant. All right, I got to pack some of these things. I got to do more homework with the kids, and we're going to go for a run. Okay, as I thought would happen, we got a bunch in at the end. 36 here, and there's at least a couple that'll go into tomorrow. So I got to get skedoodling down to the post office. Hey. Well, even though I've got BP packaging things, and it's really been helpful that he's doing that. It's kind of funny when you're working and you're getting it all done and you're going 100 miles an hour, if you take something away from your job, there's other things that fill right in. And so I don't know, I'm still as busy as I ever was. I got to keep diverting that busyness and that energy towards the right things. I mean, you can always be busy doing something, or the wrong things, or nothing. But to constantly be busy doing the right things. Got something going on down there. They're working on the railroad. Working on the railroad. To be busy doing the right things all the time, that takes concentration and planning and sticking to task and all that kind of good stuff. So that is what I'm trying to do. Woo. Okay, so post office, more school. Then I've got to go pick up some test strips locally. Got a couple people that sell me test strips locally. And then try to get Kate something to take pictures of so I can list that today or tomorrow and wind down the day. I'm trying to get my new schedule where I get up early and go to bed earlier and relax a little bit. Try to be ready and fresh for school so we can get a jump on it every day. Yeah. Here are the 10 items, and some of them actually, like these flash coupler adapters. I have 2 of them, so 11 items. Little goober snappers, and some of these aren't too bad. These manuals for AE1, Canon AE1s are pretty good. This is part 1 and part 2. There's a Canon A1 manual, Rolly accessory in a package, some other accessories. Some remote controls for camera stuff go for money. Not very much money. Now there's always high-end stuff. I mean, there's high-end lens caps. I showed one last week. There's, you know, I think Wheeler just found 3 or 4 more of those same high-end lens caps. There's high-end manuals for cameras. We've sold manuals for cameras around $100. There's high-end cords for cameras that you'll get $100 for. There's all kinds of new old stock you can get money for. Any hobby, whether it's cars, automobiles, cameras, sports memorabilia, models, you know, RC cars, there's always high-end stuff. Watches, jewelry, you name it, right? Even puzzles. I had a 3D puzzle that sold for over $100 new old stock. So it's amazing, you know, it's always amazing that there's high-end stuff. And sometimes you find it and sometimes you don't. But when you do find it, pick it up. Know what you're looking for. So this big pile of stuff here, I need to break down. There's a hot potato. Which, by the way, the hot potato question and answer thing where either Wheeler or a banana peeler or myself go get the item, put it in there with the question and bring it to Wheeler, and he looks it up, gets excited, answers it, and gives it back. It's working really well. We'll probably talk more about that when we have Wheeler on the question answer session. Why we do it, why it works, why what we were doing did not work. So there's probably another 10 manuals in there that I will sell, and the rest of them, I don't know, I may lot up or pitch, and then I'm hoping there's another 5 or 10 items in there. There's some things in there that Wheeler will have to sort through and work with, mainly because my expertise level is not there. Okay, so we have the beginning signs of momentum. I think if you want to rewind the videos that I started 30 days ago, give or take, I said it takes some time to get momentum. I said that it takes 30 days to see the starting signs of momentum. And lo and behold, an indicator for us is how is our main camera channel doing. And in the last 7 days, we're at about $5,400 in sales. And it's not, there's no big items on there. The biggest item is $200-300. And so to me, that shows that we're starting to get momentum. Almost $800 a day average. And this is stuff that we're making good profit on. We bought in bulk. And so we're not paying wholesale, we're paying basement wholesale. So, you know, on $800, we're probably paying $200 or less for those items per $800 a day. But there are some costs in going to get it. There are some costs in storing it. There are certainly some costs in having Wheeler list it. And then there's other regular costs like eBay fees and all that. So I'm trying to bring all these things to light, that when I say we sell $800 a day and we bought it for $200 or less, I don't have $600 cash in my hands. However, we're doing quite well. When you can get that ratio between buying and selling, and the buying price is $200 and the selling price is $800, 4 times your money or better, like that, that's pretty good ratio. That would be you know, a ratio to aim at. You can't get that every time. Can you find a $5 item you can sell for $50? Yeah, you can do that pretty often. But once you get up there in item dollars, it's harder to take a $100 item and get 800. You'll find those once in a while. You won't find those all the time. So as the item gets more expensive, the multiplier is not quite there. It's like if you buy a $50,000 house to renovate, you're not going to get 10 times your money. You're not going to sell that house for $500,000 very often. Maybe once in a career or something like that. Now, if you take a $50,000 house and you renovate it, you might get $200,000 for it. If you do the right job, pick the right neighborhood, all that kind of stuff. But then you've got a lot of time and money in it too. So, anywho, a little discussion to fill out the episode, right? Okay, so a long day for me. I'm trying to keep my go days, and my low days and slow days. I'm trying to be fresh in the morning so that I can teach my kids and stay ahead of that. So my evenings I'm ending a little earlier, trying that as an approach. Some days are just go days and they're early till late. So I'm trying to wind down pretty early this evening. I've got some test strips I'm going to list for a few $100s. And then probably will not list the 10 items over there tonight. Sorry, Wheeler. But I'm going to be in a good position to do that and then put 10 more out there and try to get that going again this week. School has been busy. Samuel is in 3rd grade and he's doing pretty well with reading, but it is hard to turn the corner with some children on reading, and Samuel is super smart in communication and super smart in mathematics, and reading is one of his tougher things, so I'm trying really hard to help him turn the corner this year. We're starting to have to read and write and comprehend, and so that's taking me some extra time. It's time well invested. And then, of course, Elizabeth is in 2nd grade right behind him, pushing him, and she's a handful too, so I got my hands full. I don't know how those teachers that teach those critical grades do it consistently, but I'm more and more involved every year in the schooling, and this year is a big year. Okay, let's see what else is going on. I think that's about it. I got a big day coming up on Wednesday, and we're gonna celebrate here pretty soon. But 20th wedding anniversary is coming up on Wednesday. I'm on the hook. I got to come up with some good things, right? Think I got it under control, but anyway, that's exciting. 20 years. Wheeler's 19, 20-year anniversary. Probably wasn't a lot of time between marriage and Wheeler, right? There was enough, but not a lot. Oh, good thing I didn't get married till I was a little later. I got all the dumb young years out of me, and I was ready for family. Anyway, 20th wedding anniversary coming up. Pretty exciting. Seems like it flew right by. Whew. Well, I hope you had a good Monday. We had a good, busy Monday. Lots of orders, lots of business, lots of questions. We had our first round of big sales on camera stuff end today. I'm probably going to start that up tomorrow. I don't think I necessarily like 14 days of non-sales and then 16 days of end-to-end sales, and then I'll have to relist stuff, reprice it, lower the price, and then wait another 14 days. But I'm thinking I'm going to get used to it. I'm sure there's some other strategies out there. You know, list it till it's gone. I like reducing the price. I think that's almost as effective as running a sale. And I used to like the 10-day listings because every time you start them, you get a bump in sales. Every time you end them. So the list till dead, list till sold, list till whatever has some advantages, but I still think I'm going to stick to the 30-day sales, and we'll see how that goes. right now we're starting to see the signs of momentum. I like all the cash flow. I like all the stuff being listed. I like all the stuff being sold. It is busy, busy, busy summer, and I like where it's heading. So I hope you're doing the same. I hope you're considering doing the same. Keep at it. Pick well, list often. Dealers out of the town.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer production.